mindset where marketing is concerned, entrepreneurship is concerned. If I go, hey, here's my best marketing strategy, it's like, hey, here's a Bugatti. It's going to drive fast. Yeah, but you're going to kill yourself unless you're trained. And so you got to train your muscles of your brain. People go to the gym and work out. We work out all day long, and we know that if we push our body against adversity, it will grow, get leaner, more athletic. Yet as soon as we hit some kind of adversity in life, in business, we stop, we retreat, we give up, and we effectively say, I'm okay with my mindset atrophying. I want to build my mindset muscles. And for that to happen, I need 3 forms of resistance. And those 3 forms of resistance are this: resiliency, resourcefulness, and relentlessness. And if you can have those 3 R's in place, you can take any sales and marketing strategy and make it work for you.
Welcome. This is Peter Voogd, founder of prestigious GameChangers Academy. And thank you guys for tuning into our monthly Millionaire video series, where we interview the world's most elite and successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, entertainers, and real game changers. People that I personally have massive respect for, and those that I feel are making a big difference, not just in their industries, but in the world. And we have somebody today who I've been excited about for the last couple of months, who has been getting real results and impacting people for a long time. And somebody that I feel has a true rags to riches story, who holds nothing back, gives so much value, but with candor and with vulnerability, but also a no BS attitude, which is a great combination. You guys know his bio. I'm going to still share some things that I think stood out that I want to put in context before we dive in, because these are important. His family came to the US with $200 from Armenia. A lot of you know he went through a lot of tough times, but he moved 14 times, cramming a family of 5 into a spare bedroom, going to jail, getting in police chases, getting beat up, and I'm sure a lot more that he'll share. But he's used all of his pain and all of his adversity to his advantage to create a true empire in the fitness industry and beyond. He's now the CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp. His company made entrepreneurs list of the top 15 franchises with a couple hundred now. We'll talk about it, but I believe there's a couple hundred franchises. Made Inc.'s top 500 CEO list twice. He's also considered one of the fitness industry's most trusted advisors and one of the industry's most badass entrepreneurs. Also author of the best-selling book, Man Up. Bedros, great to have you, man. I'm excited to have you here.
Peter, what an introduction. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to your tribe.
Of course, man. So what's been on your mind? I want to start with this. What's been on your mind recently? What's kind of festering, and what are you thinking about? People like you are always trying to think of new ways to grow and innovate. What's been on your mind recently?
Yeah, I'll actually tell you what's on my mind. And actually, I was talking to Manny Koshman yesterday. He was here at the headquarters. This guy's got like one-off Bugattis and McLarens, etc. He's a real estate entrepreneur. And we were both kind of on the same page. Like, when is the bubble going to burst? I'm so curious. How much longer do I have for this run, so that when the economy crashes, my marketing is going to change, the way I sell things is going to change, the way I position things is going to change. And then I started wondering, is anyone else thinking about that, or is it just me? Like, before the 2008 crash, I was already thinking like, all right, housing's going to crash anytime now. Not because I know anything about housing, but I know that it's all cyclical. And so I was already thinking, like, when it crashes, I'm going to have money put aside to buy a couple of rental properties. And also I'm going to be able to get more employees for less dollars because unemployment is going to be up. And I realized back then, no one else was thinking of that. And I realize now nobody is thinking of that either. And so that's been what's on my mind. And it was refreshing to see that Manny shared the same feelings.
It's interesting because knowing your story, I think that's almost because no one thinks like that, by the way, Bedros. No one thinks like, how can we really prepare? How can we shift our marketing? How can we get employees for cheap? So that's amazing. You almost have a healthy paranoia in a way.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I was on Cardone's show one time, and he goes, what keeps you driven? I go, in my mind, there's somebody every morning. There's at least 10 people across the country in a basement on a marker board writing, how do I destroy Bedros and Fit Body Bootcamp franchise? And I wake up with that hunger, with that fear, with that drive. And it's a healthy fear, like you said, a healthy paranoia. And I think some of the best entrepreneurs have that.
And if you don't disrupt your company, I think somebody else will. So that's it makes sense why you're crushing it. So I want to walk through, because your story is intriguing. And I want to walk through some tipping points because you changed the direction of your life, and it could have went a lot of different ways, but you let all the challenges, and I mean some really rough challenges, you use that to build a multi-million-dollar business. 99% of people that go through challenges do not use those to build a big business. They use those as a crutch, as a validation, and as a victim. What made you different?
Dude, I think what made me different is that, listen, when you escape a communist country and you come to a country like the United States where there's freedom and opportunity and no one's trying to oppress you, you have a different appreciation for freedom. Like, so many of my friends who are in the military say that I'm the ultimate American because I've seen the communist way of living. I've seen what it's like to be oppressed, and I've experienced that firsthand. So when we came here, I was full of so much gratitude, number one, for the country. Number two, for my dad who risked his life. I was a 6-year-old kid. I wouldn't die, but my dad would instantly be killed if we were caught escaping. And so the way I looked at it is I owe it to my dad. He risked his life to bring us here. If I use any kind of bullshit excuse, now make no mistake, I wasn't an angel. I got into a lot of trouble. And by the way, it wasn't the jail. It was a holding cell at a police department. So hopefully that doesn't make me as thuggish. But it was scary, you know, when the cops are chasing you and you're running with the wrong crowds, etc. But all that said, I remember thinking one day, like, is this why my dad brought me to the United States? Probably not. You know, he's not proud of me right now. We were on no talking terms at that time. And so it was easy enough for me to go, I got to make him proud. I got to turn the corner. And so I did, rather than being a victim. Well, I'm the foreigner. I didn't understand the culture. I got picked on as a kid, and now I'm going to go pick on other people. I adopted that mentality just for a little bit before the reality check set in that I've got so much gratitude in me from my dad in this country. I better make the most of it. So there were so many myths in my space that I had to break. And then when I talk about the industry, the actual personal training industry, we used to sell personal training like 1 session at a time, 5 sessions, 10 sessions. One of my clients, his name is Jim Franco. He ended up being my first mentor in business. He goes, hey kid, how come you're selling 5 and 10 sessions at a time? I go, I don't know, personal training's expensive and that's how we do it in my industry. He goes, well, it's a broken business model. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I pay the gym $39 a month and they take it out of my credit card. Yet every 2 weeks, you're selling me another block of 5 sessions and you're acting awkward because you go from your trainer hat to your sales hat and you're a horrible salesman. I was like, shit, man, he really let me have it. I go, so what should I do? He goes, you should be drafting my credit card every month. I go, Jim, you'd be paying $680 a month. He goes, so I can afford it. So can all your other clients. Wow. And it was a paradigm shift that there are so many myths in our industry. And personal trainers were telling me that that's no way you can put people on recurring payment for $600, $700, $800 a month, or you can sell a 12-month membership. Or when I took the personal training industry from 60-minute workouts to 30-minute workouts, because I had an aha moment. I got an idea. The only way I can leverage my time one-on-one is to train people for less time, less talking, more workouts, and let them do cardio on their own.
More results.
Right? Exactly. And so I just kept finding the friction in my industry and then going back to Jim Franco, my mentor, and saying, look, here's another piece of friction. How do I fix this? And he goes, hey, kid, you do this. And so I was an absolute renegade in my industry in the late 90s, early 2000s. Ironically, the big industry certification, NSCA, declined me from speaking at their event. The Idea Fitness Conference declined me. And today they're paying me 50 G's to go speak at their events.
I want to hit on a point that you said that really inspired me because I want people to catch it. You gave me chills there, man. You fired up. I love it. So you said that would be $680 a month. And your mentor said, so what?
Right.
You brought your limitation of money into your business, and that would have cost you thousands if he didn't call you out.
That's exactly it, because I was the broke-minded personal trainer, the meathead trainer who was eating his cans of tuna fish, excited to train people. Look, man, I will wake up at 4 a.m. and train you with fucking fire-breathing enthusiasm. And at 9 p.m., I'll train my client late in the evening with fire-breathing enthusiasm. But most personal trainers aren't entrepreneurial. We don't go into it for the money. We go into it for the meaning, for the significance, the purpose of serving others. And so to have an entrepreneur like that take me under his wing, literally becoming my rich dad, and God bless my father, he's my poor dad. He brought me to the United States, but he said, hey, go be a smog technician. Everyone's got cars. You're always going to have a job. Dude, you didn't bring me to the United States just to be a smog technician, but he didn't know what other advice to give me. So, you know, the lesson here probably should be, one, revolutionize your industry the best you can, and always look with a different set of lens. at the problems in your business or your industry. And number two, find a mentor who has been there and who is now where you want to be. And success leaves clues. Follow what they say.
So your vision was different. So you went for personal training, then the economy crashed. You started getting into like the body boot camp, doing boot camps, thinking about charging people consistently. What was it? Maybe it was Jim Franco, but what was it that allowed you to go the franchise route versus the small business route? Because people don't realize, I've studied a lot about franchises. I was going to get into some years ago, but you got to really have your business systemized and proven. So what was it? I'm sure you.
Yeah, good question. And I wish I could say like, dude, I had this brilliance and this is what it was. But remember, I said I started Fit Body Bootcamp as a licensing program, right? So it was like, hey, Pete, look, you're out there in San Diego doing boot camps outdoors in the park. Here's how we're going to make it weatherproof. Here's how you sign a lease and get equipment and build out an indoor boot camp, et cetera. And you would pay me $400 a month back then for the licensing fee to use the Fit Body Bootcamp brand. The one thing I did that forced me to become a franchise was I also gave Peter a protected territory, because I wanted to make sure that we didn't give another Fit Body Bootcamp and park it next to you and make it competitive. Because if you think about CrossFit, it's an affiliate program, a licensing program, and so they don't give a protected territory. You oftentimes will see a CrossFit across the street from another CrossFit and they're duking it out. No one's making any money. So I wanted to prevent that. So I gave Fit Body owners a protected territory. Well, the great state of California came to me 2 years in when I had about 180 locations. And they go, hey, the idea of giving them a protected territory automatically makes you into a franchise. You are operating as a franchise, but you're not one. We're going to fine you $2,500 per location that you have open. I said, look, if you fine me that money, I'm going to go bankrupt. I don't have that kind of money. $2,500 times 180 locations. And now you're going to have 180 locations that don't have any support because I do their marketing support. I go, what if we do this? What if I don't sell another location until I officially become a franchise, and then I'll operate as a franchise? To my surprise, they said yes, and the rest was history. 11 months later, we became a legitimate franchise. We had no sales for 11 months. Thank God for the reoccurring revenue, right? So the lesson from Jim Franco carried over almost a decade later, dude, and thank God for the monthly licensing fees that my clients were giving me. That kept me afloat during the 11 months while we were franchising in all 50 states. Yeah.
Amazing. So everything's happening like in order for a reason, because you're just being resourceful and putting in the grind and the hustle and solving the problem.
Again, being resourceful, you nailed it, because I didn't have $2,500 times 180 locations. So I had to get resourceful and go, hey, look, can we talk about this? Can we just figure out a way that I can, maybe you won't punish me and I could do this in a different way? It's asking for a way out. Most people give up and they die so quickly, man.
Well, you didn't have an exact strategy. You didn't have you had a big vision and you had a lot of passion and ambition, but you didn't sometimes know the next steps. And I think a lot of millennials that I work with, especially in the academy, they're like, okay, what are the next 19 steps? And you're like, I don't know. I did not know the next steps. Is that how it was for you?
That's exactly how it was for me. And that's how it is for some of my best coaching clients, because I may not know the industry you're in, but I can tell you that if we get to the next step, we'll see the next one appear. That's how it is. Unfortunately, it'd be great if we could see the whole flight of steps and go, okay, in about 52 steps, we'll be at the top of our industry. You don't know if it's 52 steps or 5 or 2. What I do know is if I just take one more step, the next step will appear and I'll take action. And most people need to trust the process.
Love it. That's huge. I hope you guys are really conceptualizing this. So as far as mindset goes, you talk about mindset in a different way, and I really like it. You talk about, you could give someone the best techniques. You could give someone your exact marketing campaign that you use that has generated millions of dollars. But if they don't have the right mindset and the right understanding, it's not going to work. So I wanted to dive right into sales and marketing, but I didn't want to dive in before you explain the importance of people having and understanding the right mindset as an entrepreneur and just as a fighter jet before getting the tactics. What's the importance of mindset?
So I'll explain it this way. Imagine that if we take someone off the street who's drives an Uber car and it's a Honda Accord that they drive. We give them a Bugatti, and we go, here's a super fast car. It's a hyper car that cuts corners and does this and beats all these time records. if they are not a skilled driver of a Bugatti, they cannot exploit all the value that the Bugatti can give. They're going to treat that thing like a freaking Honda Accord still, because that's what they're used to. And so mindset, where marketing is concerned, entrepreneurship is concerned, if I go, hey, here's my best marketing strategy, it's like, hey, here's a Bugatti. It's going to drive fast. Yeah, but you're going to kill yourself unless you're trained. And so you got to train your muscles of your brain. People go to the gym and work out. We work out all day long, and we know that if we push our body against adversity, it will grow, get leaner, more athletic. Yet as soon as we hit some kind of adversity in life, in business, we stop, we retreat, we give up, and we effectively say, I'm okay with my mindset atrophying. I want to build my mindset muscles. And for that to happen, I need 3 forms of resistance. And those 3 forms of resistance are this: resiliency, resourcefulness, and relentlessness. You have to be resilient, because I can give you my best marketing campaign that grew our franchise and got us tons of leads. But as soon as you go to run that Facebook ad campaign, Facebook is going to deny your ad. And if it's anything like me, they're going to shut down your account 4 times. I had my Facebook account shut down. So I had to be resilient.
Most people are done after 2. They're quitting.
Right. I had to get resourceful. So very quickly we started a new account. We did it out of Boston, a friend of mine who's in Boston. And I said, hey, I'll pay for your shit. Just use your credit card. I can't even use mine. So you got to be resilient, resourceful, and relentless. I'm in a relentless pursuit of creating the outcome that I want in life. And that is how important mindset is. And if you can have those 3 R's in place, you can take any sales and marketing strategy and make it work for you.
So let's end with this. I want you to talk about your book. I want every single person to get your book. If you're not crushing it in life, if you're already fully satisfied and you have the perfect lifestyle, the perfect business, the perfect relationship, everything systemized, maybe don't read it. But if you have the hunger to level up, I'd strongly recommend reading Man Up. How to obviously just cut the BS out of your life. Talk about manning up and what it means to you. And AKA, I want to figure out, if you were talking to 1,000 young entrepreneurs, hungry entrepreneurs that want to get to your level, talk about what you would tell them if they really didn't have the guidance. Maybe they don't have the parenting, they don't have the specific resources or tools that you had. So man up, what's the importance of manning up, and what would you tell those people?
Good question. So the importance of manning up is this: it's really to human up. So sometimes I'll get messages from women to go, hey, well, why isn't your book called Woman Up? Or are you going to write Woman Up? Or someone should write Woman Up. I'm not going to read your book. It's called Man Up. I said, stop right there. Human. We're all part of mankind. You need to human up to your highest potential. So man up just simply means stop making excuses, take control of your situation, and rise to your potential. And proof of that is I can go in the parking lot of this complex that we're in here and look in people's cars, and you'll see empty Starbucks cups and soda cups and sweaty clothes and hamburger wrappers. Well, listen, if that's how your car is, that's how your mindset is, that's how your body is, that's how your business is. And so why not rise to your higher potential? Why are you living like an animal? And I was that guy. I needed to have conversations, but I didn't have the conversations. I needed to lose the weight again, but I didn't want to go and work out again. I kept hitting the snooze button. I chose quesadillas over grilled chicken, right? And it was those. So it's like time to man up, stop making excuses, and rise to your potential. Those millennials then who think that, well, time's on my side, I got plenty of time. I can tell you that if I can go back, I would have wanted to achieve the levels of success I have now a decade sooner. And I could have by doing the 2 things that I talked about, which was, again, setting higher standards of expectations. And if I can go back and talk to like the millennial version of me, it'd be higher standards of expectations and take bigger risks. That doesn't mean stupid risks. That just means take bigger risks. The economy is as good as it's ever going to be right now. Like, now is the time to strike. Don't be pussyfooting around right now.
I appreciate you, man. Just for not just for the businesses you've built and for the people you've impacted, but for who you are and for putting world class above everything else. My favorite people to interview and just be around are people that are world class first. Having dates with your wives, talking about your kid, raising your kids right, and just being a world class human being. There's nothing more important, man. So much respect. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you as well.
Thank you so much, Peter. I appreciate you and your tribe, man. I appreciate it.
Have a great day, man. We'll talk soon.
You too.
All right, guys. I know you guys are getting, you're all fired up. I'm excited to hear the feedback from you. So I want to hear, what are 1 or 2 takeaways from you? I want you guys to post in the Facebook group. What are 1 or 2 takeaways that you think are going to make the biggest difference in your life and business based on what stage you're at? Look for things that really shifted your emotional frequency. And the goal for you guys is to operate with absolute clarity when you leave, right? Don't take action on everything he talked about. Remember, mastery versus overload. Simplify. What is the 1 or 2 things that you know without a shadow of a doubt are going to make the biggest difference in your life, and put those into action right away. Put in 20, 30 minutes in your schedule in the next 30 days to come back and watch again and take another action, but one action at a time. Remember, mastery versus overload. And don't wait till your back's against the wall. I challenge you guys to really start thinking and acting like real game changers. All right. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being part of the Academy. If you got invited by a guest, you can check out GameChangersMovement.com. But I appreciate you guys. Bedros, obviously that was amazing. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Hey, what's up, guys? If you like this video, I think you'll really enjoy these videos right here. And also, please make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below. We have a lot of amazing content coming out. See you guys soon.